Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night here on Northwoods TCG, where tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of an update on, of course, what's going on in the current Pokemon market and also what's going on with the business side of things. I'd like to do a little monthly update, just keep you guys informed on what we're seeing in the actual business format of it for what I do. That way you guys can have a little idea of what's maybe occurring currently in the market. So once again, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and last but not least, of course, hit that like button. Helps out the stream a little bit, gets things moving. I know that Jake from Pokenomics is currently running right now also, or was just before I came on. And if that's the case, we might be a little bit light on load tonight, but we'll see who shows up. Once again, I see a couple of people out in the chat, which is greatly appreciated as we're getting started. Let me know in the chat that you guys are here. Greatly appreciated as we're kind of getting going here. I'm just going to kind of slow play this a little bit, get things moving while we're waiting for other people to get in. Otherwise, like I said, I hope you guys have had a great week so far as we're just starting out, and hopefully you had a good weekend. Of course, this weekend is going to be the start of the pre-release tournaments for anybody that's interested in the newest set coming out in the Pokemon TCG. Pre-releases will be starting this weekend on Saturday, so we have a pre-release tournament that we're going to start things out. And after that, we will be kicking over into, of course, a tournament right afterwards. So we're going to be doing 2 tournaments here this weekend, which is going to be a little bit of fun. It's fun for Jacob and I to get the new set and then, of course, try out our new decks that we've been modifying and working on for the last week. As it's going, I'm just going to get going. People can go ahead and back watch this or go ahead back in time and see what's going on with this. But overall, I do want to thank everybody that does come in. Once again, say you're in the chat and make sure you guys let me know that you're here. But today we're going to be talking about the Pokemon business and the Pokemon market. What are we seeing? What's going on? And what is happening here at the beginning of March? Kind of recapping Friday. I like doing these in the first week of the month. So that way we can kind of recap what's going on and what has happened. So back in February is a very dead month. I think overall, when it comes down to the market, it was very slow, very, very, very drawn out, not much going on. Singles was still doing rather well throughout the month. We had some really good single sales, especially through TCG Player. A lot of people are modifying decks. A lot of people are preparing for that April 4th changeover. I know myself and my son have both kind of updated our decks completely to be ready for that April 4th. So right now on April 4th, when we have the rotation kick in, our decks will already be all set. We won't have to modify. We won't have to try and find trainers. We won't have to try and find Pokemon. Everything's already modified. It's a little bit difficult for play, but it is what it is. We're going to work through it until we get to that point when everybody else catches up. But that way we get used to our decks here. We get about 4 or 5 weeks here of runtime before we actually get to that modification. But we are seeing an insurgence of people buying different cards, buying different singles and trainers and that kind of stuff. So we are seeing a real big growth and gain on that particular side in February. And that's been a really big thing moving forward, which is really good to see that they're actually seeing some single sales as we're moving forward. Overall, the sealed side and even the opening side was very slow in February. And like I talked about in the video back at the end of January, I said February is always a really slow month. Historically, February is always a slower time. It's drawn out. People are drawn out with money. There's not enough money going around. People are paying their taxes. Their property taxes are coming in. All these taxes are coming in end of January that are due in the beginning of February, and people don't have their tax returns yet. So once we start seeing tax returns come in and once those things continue to go forward, we're going to see some really good things coming up in March. The end of February really did pick up. So realistically, the last week, we've been doing really well. Overall, even the pack openings have really increased. My sealed product sales have really increased. We've seen a really big expansion on those particular things, which is really, really good. So once again, market stabilizing. We're seeing kind of a normalized market. You can get a little bit more predictor on it for what you think is going to happen in the market. Watching that market and watching what's happening. Once again, February has gone back to like a historical month where it's just a little bit slower. Good time to pick up those purchases at really good pricing. And even Walmart now has increased the pricing of packs. So I don't know if you guys have noticed that if you do buy your packs at Walmart, they were for $3.74 for a long period of time for pretty much all the Scarlet and Violet sets. They about 2-3 weeks ago kicked the Sword and Shield ones back up to the $4.98. And as of this week now, or last Thursday when they restocked, now all the Scarlet and Violet packs are back up to the $4.98 price also. So everything's been re-increased in price. We're not seeing those deals anymore. A lot of the clearance items have been cleared out, and actually our Walmart's is looking a little slim when it comes down to actual cardboard sleeve packs. There's a lot of the goofy products like the boxes, the EX boxes. There's plenty of those out there. There's plenty of Paldean Fate CTBs. There's plenty of those currently on the shelves. I see Targets are getting refilled pretty heavily, and there's a lot of stock currently when it comes to those non-pack specific products, is what I call them. Those products that you would potentially buy for one pack inside of them. So it has Evolving Skies on it. So you would buy an Evolving Skies just to grab that out of that particular box, or, Brilliant Stars or Fusion Strike or whatever you're particularly chasing. You usually break those boxes down. You don't usually hold those for long-term investment, and you don't really plan on doing much with those just because they're kind of a not really space good. They take a lot of space up on a shelf. They're really airy. There's a lot of stuff in it that really won't have much value, and continuing to hold that cardboard just really doesn't have much value. But there are a lot of those boxes currently on the shelf. I'm seeing a lot more of Crown Zenith, like the Morpeko boxes are coming out with the playmat. So there are a lot of those currently on the shelves. So there's a chance for Crown Zenith, but they're $40 for those, and there's only like 5 packs in them. So it doesn't really make sense to even get those. $29.90. They were on sale for $29.99, and there's only like 4 or 5 packs inside that Morpeko. You're paying for the playmat and things like that, and that's really not something that's driving very well. So overall, market's looking good. I would say for coming into the end of February, as we're closing up the month, it's been doing rather well. It's been moving forward really nicely, and in general, I think that we're going to be having a really good March from what I've seen at the beginning of March here, end of February. Sales have picked up. Sales are moving, or sealed products moving faster. We're seeing a lot more single selling on TCG Player as we're getting closer to that April range. And overall, I think that there's some really good money again flowing around. People must be getting their tax returns, and that's really having a good effect overall on the market. So once again, guys, now's the time. If you want to list those more expensive items that you feel have not been moving very well, this might be a great opportunity to get those listed and be able to capitalize on some of that extra money people are getting from tax returns, and using that expendable money in order to purchase these items. This is where they would buy that Evolving Skies booster box, where you might be able to list it for $550, and you might be able to sell it for that price depending on where you list it. This is a time when you could get rid of maybe some of those Charizard UPCs, that you might have bought at $75, $80, and be able to get the full 120, 130 on them. So there are definitely opportunities as people get money in this market to give you the opportunity to be able to capitalize on that. Paldean Fates, if you haven't gotten that, that's actually going to be a thing also, as Paldean Fates, those kind of products are also going to see some value on it when it comes down to it. Before I go into the next part of this, I'm going to go ahead and just acknowledge chat. I see we got Grim the Nerd. Thank you so much for joining once again. Greatly appreciated. Pokemon Nufo exclusive. Do you think Evolving will be the new set in Scarlet and Violet? What? Do you think Evolving will be the new set in Scarlet and Violet? I guess I don't understand what the question is. I don't know. No, it won't be a new. It's Sword and Shield. I don't know what you actually mean. Maybe you could clarify a little bit on that one. It's kind of a interesting one. I don't know what you quite mean on that one. But I'll come into comments or come into questions here when we get towards the end here. Well, that first 20 minutes, I always sit here and do kind of a little bit of a rant on what's going on. When it comes down now to the actual business side of things, business has been doing really well. Like I said, going back to that market thing and what we're seeing in it, TikTok is really picking up. The rip and ship stuff has really picked up all of a sudden the last week. So people must be getting back their tax returns. Champions Path ETBs that I have listed have been selling really well. So once again, people are getting that money, and that's where my real sales are coming from at this point in time. We're seeing a lot of those higher, more exclusive items that people are always hesitant, that are more of a thought process to buying rather than a cheaper ETB. Now they're buying the more expensive ETBs, and they're specifically asking for, when they buy them, they definitely put in the question to be sure you put in good quality ones. They want ones that look really nice or clean and don't have any marks or dents in the corners and things like that. They're specifying that because they are doing them for collections. So that's definitely a good sign that people are getting their tax returns back, and we are going to be seeing some better sales. So on the business side of things, I've been listing some of those higher end products that, of course, people have to either A, budget for, or B, have a nest egg of money coming in order to be able to purchase those, or are more likely to purchase them when they have that bigger purse of money. And that's where these things are actually starting to sell now. I think we're going to continue to see those sales through March and April, of course, as more and more people get their tax returns back and actually do get tax returns, the ones that do. That's going to give them the opportunity to really climb in on that factor and be able to really get those collection pieces if they're looking for them, or if they're chasing the new, or the older sets that they really want to open, or maybe they're chasing specific cards. I've had a lot of people even on my Rip and Shifts buying Champion's Path all of a sudden, chasing those Charizards. And we've hit now 2 of them in the last 2 weeks, which is great to see them. I mean, they're Charizard Vs. They're really nice to pull them out of them ETBs and out of those products. But people are willing to spend the money now on those specific products. Evolving Skies has been selling really well, really quickly out of the TikTok shop, along with Evolutions. So even people are willing to pay that $25 for an Evolutions pack. So people are willing to open up and spread out and really have no problem going and purchasing those more expensive items. And that's really good to see. That's exactly what we were expecting to see as we continue on this normalized market. We're not seeing those continuous up and down, or up with no recovery points. So that means the market's stabilizing, guys, and I think that it's going to be doing really well. And March will be really good for any individuals out there currently trying to capitalize on the current market and take advantage of these particular things. Now, when we took a look at the other sets, looking at the market side of things, if we take a look in the back, Sword and Shield has been doing really, really interesting things. We have been seeing those markets and those like Sword and Shield. So once again, I put out a couple times videos that there's something holding back some of these sets from doing really well. And it's the fact that Pokemon Center has product. And now we've had 2 booster boxes in a row that were kind of stuck around that 145 to 150 range when it came down to the sales on TCG Player. And what we've seen now is that once they sold out on Pokemon Center, so Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike have now followed the exact same track, that when they sell out on Pokemon Center, they usually jump about $20 to $30 almost immediately on TCG Player and on eBay. So once you remove that choke point of Pokemon Center keeping stock, it seems like these products are going up really fast. And do I think that it's going to be the same thing with Brilliant Stars? I think so. I think you're going to see a very similar track when it comes down to Brilliant Stars. We've seen it with the last 2 sets. Brilliant Stars, another one, a big fan favorite set overall. So there's a really good chance that they will do the exact same thing. And that's something to be considering, that if you haven't bought Brilliant Stars from Pokemon Center, if you haven't bought, or if you haven't bought them under that MSRP price, TCG Player is currently about 13% overpriced from Pokemon Center, which to me makes absolute sense because the lowest market price is $144. They're selling them for 13% higher, and the same with Lost Origins on TCG Player, because they're taking the fact that they can get them at Pokemon Center and turn them into TCG Player. But once that gate's gone, you're going to see those ones also, I feel, accelerate rather quickly, and we're going to see the value of them go up really quickly. We continue to have these little restriction points with Pokemon Center continuing to hold stock. Once that stock's gone and that restriction point is gone, then it becomes free secondary market. So we're seeing those gains. We're seeing the exact same thing happening with 2 of the sets. I think Brilliant Stars is right behind it here. I don't think they're going to be reprinting Brilliant Stars. I don't think they're going to be reprinting any of the Sword and Shield sets at this point in time. They're coming up on all of them are coming up on their 2-year mark at this point in time. And that's going to be a factor when it comes down to it. Number 2, they're so set and pushing into Scarlet and Violet at this point in time that I just don't see a reason for them to go back and reprint any of the Sword and Shield stock at this point. They're really investing their time and energy into Scarlet and Violet, and I think that that's where they're going to continue to put their resources and put that extra money that they're willing to spend on stocking items back into that area. They're going to stay in the Scarlet and Violet. Could we see a reprint of ETBs of some of these sets? I think you could. There's still plenty of Silver Tempest ETBs, so I really don't see them chasing that one. Astral Radiance, you can still find those pretty easily in the stores. Lost Origins a little bit more difficult, and Brilliant Stars is finally disappearing out of all the stores. So they're starting to disappear. So is there a potential for a reprint of ETBs like they've done in Sword and Shield and all the other sets? Maybe, but I just don't think it's not highly likely, just because of the fact of the time and energy and everything that they're focusing on Scarlet and Violet in this point in time for the era. They're not going to spend a lot of time even doing big reprints on Sword and Shield. It just doesn't make sense for Pokemon Center to do that. Is it impossible? No. Always take that with a grain of salt, that there is always that potential that there could be a big reprint, but I definitely don't think there is. Crown Zenith, same kind of thought process on it. I don't think we're going to be seeing another reprint of Crown Zenith at this point in time. The market is saturated in ETBs. There's plenty of them out there. They're all under MSRP currently. You can buy them on eBay. You can buy them on TCG Player, all under MSRP. And overall, that's going to be a factor on why they won't do reprints on those either. Plus, the playability of some of those cards is going to start going out right with the end of Sword and Shield. So people don't realize that even though it was printed pretty much with the Scarlet and Violet era right at the end there. All the cards are the same as the Brilliant Stars and Forward. So those will all go out of rotation even next year when it comes down to rotating through the cards in the Pokemon TCG. So even those will go out of rotation, which at that point, they will not do any reprints of those particular sets. If you can get your hands on some Fusion Strike, I just happened to pick up some Fusion Strike on eBay the other day. I picked up a case of it for roughly, what was it? I remember now, it was roughly about $135 a booster box for Fusion Strike, which gives you a good value right away in it. So there are still some deals running on those particular booster boxes. If you look around, some places are still February slow, guys. And if February slow for sales, some people will be trying to unload some things that they do have value in them because they bought those booster boxes at 90 or, potentially around that $95, $90 range. And so now they can still sell them at $140 and still make some money on those particular ones. So there's definitely a good opportunity in all those. Futuristically, just keep your eye on them. There's really good auctions too. I've been seeing some auctions go really cheap on even Lost Origins, on Brilliant Stars. You can snipe out some of those booster boxes if you're still trying to pick them up for around that 135, range pretty readily. They actually do happen quite a bit when it comes down to the auction sites. And of course, TikTok, I always put it out there. TikTok is running some deals again, some coupons for some of the sales places. And if they do have some of those relisted, you can definitely jump in on those ones also. Take that opportunity and get in on those ones while they're available. So the TikTok deals definitely give you a little bit of an advantage. Some of the bigger content creators that are able to get a lot of sales and a lot of live time and actually have a professional business on it are getting promotional deals. And those are the ones too that are usually carrying those products, and then they can actually sell them with the discounts a little bit cheaper. So there are some opportunities and some really good things on the potentials for TikTok still. Some people don't trust it, and I get it. From a sales perspective and from being on the backside of the TikTok platform, I definitely don't know why people wouldn't trust it. If you were to go on the backside and see the selling process, it's not as easy as you think to be able to cheat anybody on TikTok, and TikTok really protects the customers a lot more than they protect the actual sellers, which is good. I'd rather see the consumers being protected, and I'd rather be able to have to prove my case on why my stuff is the way it is. Not that I've had very many issues. I've had one person not read the description, and they did a rip and ship, and I only sent the hits. And you have to request. There's the box they have to check in order to get the bulk. They didn't hit the box. They didn't read the description, and I sent the hits out to them like I normally do, and they tried to do a claim. And TikTok kind of, back then they were doing the double fault, so they paid me and them and just said, pretty much told them that from now on, read the description. So those are all things that are going on. I think that there's some really good options on TikTok. There's a lot of good things. And there's some really good opportunities still out there in the market to be able, especially in February, coming in the beginning of March here. People are hungry for some money and they really need income to be able to run their stores, run their businesses, especially if they're not like my business where it's just all paid for. They definitely need to get some cash flow somehow, and that they're taking some hits on some of the products, not trying to sell them at max price, but just be able to sell them and get that opportunity to get those out there and get that income back into their businesses. So that income is a big thing. Sometimes they won't get max dollar, but they'll still make enough profit or make profit on the items to be able to do that. So overall, really, really good things. Really, really good things that are out there currently in the market. A lot of good opportunities still. But I think as March moves on, we're going to see less and less of those opportunities. People are going to start raising their prices because people are going to have expendable money. That's going to cause the pricing of items to go up. Do I think that you'll be able to find Lost Origins and Brilliant Stars for under $144 come the end of March? No, I think that everybody's going to be pulling those up, and they're probably going to be up around $150 on most of those platforms. That even if you get the TikTok discount, they're making extra money, and you're getting a discount below that $140, but they're going to really pull those reins up and make it so that they're benefiting as much as you are on those particular items. Right now, they're not doing that. They're leaving them at the standard pricing like MSRP, and they're letting them drop, and they'll compensate for that at some point in time. It's just natural in the business market that when you don't need as much cash flow or you're getting good cash flow, you're going to raise your prices so that you don't give the consumer as big of an advantage as much as splitting it most of the time between you and the consumer. So definitely things to consider on that. Also, as you're considering some of these items, just keep in mind that if you are trying to buy these investment items, if you are trying to buy these personal collection items and things like that, now is a really good time to do it and really be considering it before we get into everybody getting their tax returns, because that's when the pricing will go up and that'll change the trajectory of how far your money will go coming into March. So like I said, guys, that's my rant. That's currently where we're at right now in this particular market. Overall, I think that there's some really good things moving forward and some really good things going into March. March looks like it's going to be a really strong month. It started out strong. It's starting to look like January again. January was an extremely strong month for the first of the year. Probably one of my strongest Januaries that I've seen in the Pokemon hobby since I've been it back in 2019. So we've been really seeing some good things with that factor. Besides the boom, I don't really consider the January of 2021 really part of it. It is what it is. It was just craziness anyways. Anything and everything was selling like nuts. But overall, in a stabilized market for the last 3 years, January was extremely strong. February looked like a normal February, very slow. And March is looking extremely strong again. So I think there's some great opportunities for anybody out there who's trying to move those particular investment items or collection items that they don't necessarily want to have. I think that that's a good opportunity to potentially jump in on those, jump into them sales to try and get them out of your storage or get them out of your space as fast as you can. I mean, if you want to get rid of them, now's the time to be considering that. So once again, guys, that's about my 20-minute beginning like I always do. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the chats. Thank you so much for everybody that's joining. I see that there's quite a few people out there now. We've got, like I said, Grim the Nerd, Pokenoof, Exclusive, iFOMO, thank you for joining in. We got James from Alamo City. Hideous, thank you so much for joining in. We got Kanto Green, thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the beginning because I know Pokenoof Exclusive. Would Pokemon use the word evolving in the Scarlet and Violet future set? I don't know if they'll use the word evolving necessarily. I think that they're having a lot of fun with these new really cool names like Temporal Forces and Paradox Rift. I think they're going to kind of stay on that trend because they are doing a lot of these Paradox Pokemon currently, and that's been the new trend. Temporal Forces they got a different terrestrialized rarity inside of it, but it's not a big rarity change. I think the next set, I would not be surprised at all if we started seeing some kind of major rarity change inside of those particular sets, because currently, I mean, your biggest rarity is just a standard EX. They're going to come out with something a little bit better. Right about now is the time frame when we would see it. Kind of like Battle Styles coming out was the alternate art beginning for Sword and Shield. We're getting to that point. We're right. This set could have technically been it, but I could see the next set being that. But will they use evolving necessarily in the Scarlet and Violet era? I don't know if they will, but I will be willing to bet we will see some kind of evolution set at some point here. I think that we're going to really see some opportunities on that. Really seeing some opportunities for that to show up here. And I think that it's going to be probably coming up pretty quick. So just my opinion. I have no proof behind it. It's just a feeling that that's how I feel. Let's see. We're going to go to James from Alamo City. Good evening, Andy. Thoughts of the Paldean Adventures chest? Pikachu promo is lit. Otherwise, meh, packs and unique design in the inside. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a unique little product. I think the promo is absolute fire. I purchased 2 of them just for the promo. The packs, they were just, standard Sword and Shield packs. I didn't have any. Mine did not have any Sword and Shield packs in it. They were all Scarlet and Violet era packs, which is fine. Overall, value-wise, I just don't think that that's going to hold a ton of value futuristically. Maybe someone will want that for the promo futuristically, and that's pretty much what I see being the value inside of there is that Pikachu promo. So overall, it's an alright chest. I mean, it's alright for that promo. It's a cool little design, though. The way that it opens up and that the whole thing opens and then all the shelves pop out is a really cool little design that they did. But in general, I just don't know, if it's something I would be holding on to long term as much as just trying to get that promo out of it. Getting that promo graded if I want it for myself, or just put the promo away in a safe place and then let that ride for a few years. I think that promo is going to have some really good value futuristically. Grim the Nerd. My box of Quick Balls just landed from the Poke Center. Do rip or keep them sealed? The Quick Balls, those are that you're talking the Pokeballs. If you're talking the Pokeballs, I would rip them just because, number one, I don't like keeping packs in those particular Pokeballs. Reasoning being is that it actually damages the cards a lot of times. So if there is a chase card inside of there, or if you go to sell those packs or open those packs for yourself, they will be pre-damaged if they sit in those balls too long. So even like when Cosmic Eclipse was in a bunch of those Pokeballs, I was ripping the Pokeballs open, getting them packs out of there as soon as possible so that they lay flat. It's better to put them in a box or on a shelf, or myself, I just buy those the white boxes. I don't know if I got one. Yeah, just the little card boxes, and I lay my packs inside of there. So that's definitely a good thing. Yeah, and if they have Evolving Skies in them, if they have Evolving Skies in them, then definitely get them out of there so the packs don't get damaged. Otherwise, they get little. People can tell. I can tell you when I buy packs if they've been sitting in a Pokeball forever, because they do get damaged, and you can tell by the edges and the corners of the actual packs that they were in a Pokeball. So that's always a concern if I'm buying packs from someplace, that if they're in a Pokeball too long, they will actually cause damage. So I would get them open. I'd get the packs out of there and get them safe. iFOMO, if Dan could sell the majority of his inventory right before tax return season, I think the hobby's in a good spot. Yeah, exactly. The hobby's doing really well, guys. It's really, really steady. We're seeing really, really good growth and gains. Overall, I'm not seeing any kind of real hiccups in the market. It's just more of the standard Pokemon market that I saw before the boom. I mean, when we were here in 2019, this is kind of the consistency we've seen. Some sets do really well. Some products do really well. A lot of the singles will do really well, and we'll see some really good movement on those particular items. February has always been a dead month. It's just kind of the way it always has been and will be. These are just consistencies that we're starting to see. So this is falling into a normalized market, which is good, because that means that there isn't so much as that quick money that people really, really used to be in the market for and make that quick buck. It's now more of that, more intuitive, smart. You buy what you like. If you got to sit on some things too long, don't overexert yourself. I mean, you got to be a little bit smart. Don't be using your credit cards to buy things, because it could take more than a couple months to get them unless you can pay your credit card off whatever you buy on it. Yeah, that's a big debate. I use my credit card all the time. I mean, I tell people not to use credit cards, but I shouldn't say not to use credit cards. What I mean by not using credit cards is don't use your credit cards without being able to pay them off right away. Because like my credit card has certain percentages off in places that I can take advantage of that. So like I get 3% off of eBay sales with one of my credit cards for the rewards. And it shifts in and out sometimes, but then you can really take advantage of getting another 3% off of something. As long as you pay it off before the end of the month when the interest kicks in, it doesn't make a difference. You get that 3% and you pay it off right away, and you only put on there what you have to be able to actually be able to pay off. There's no worry, right? Just use it, go in that week and pay it off right away. There's no concern with overexerting yourself or getting yourself to the point where you get credit cards backed up. So there are those opportunities, and it's definitely not something to be as much concerned about. But use them wisely. Don't use them as a way of holding money for a long period of time. Use them as a way to get the cashback rewards, or if you've got those kind of options on your cards. A lot of cards have cashback rewards, and using them for that. So even my trip going out to Chicago in North Carolina, I've already looked at hotel rooms, and I'll use my one card for that because I get 5% off on travel. So by using that 5%, I'll use it and then I'll pay it off right away, but I get 5% off on those particular purchases. So there are definitely good ways that you can use that cash back. Just don't let it sit. Don't let it run past where you're going to get paying interest on there, because if you're paying interest on those cards, it completely negates the point. So definitely a lot of opportunities out there though in that market. Definitely some really good things that you could take advantage of when it comes down to that. Let's see here. TikTok has been fine from the typical top sellers. Game Capital and Safari been getting cases of Crown Zenith for $300 ship. Yep, and Game Capital is one of the ones I use quite a bit. They run some really, really good sales on there. And then if you can on top of it get the promos or get the promotionals, they can really get some banger deals out of that. Game Capital, I use them. I've actually purchased quite a bit of stuff just for my rip and ships from them because the pricing is really, really good. And there's some really good chances just to rip that open and be able to turn that around for getting that 20% profit. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of people have asked, and I'm open about these things. I always have been. Whatever I pay for something, I just go 20% higher. I need to make a 20% margin. That for me is what I'm shooting for. So it's usually the list price is 23% over because I got 3% fee for using TikTok platform, which is nominal. I mean, comparatively to other sites for the amount of throughput I have on TikTok, I'll pay 3% all day comparatively to TCG Player or eBay at 13%. There's some really good opportunities. I mean, even squares, when I was using that for box breaks, the few that I did when I was selling them back early in the hobby, or when I was early in the channel, those were even 3.5 to 4%. So, I mean, overall, this is still the best deal that I have that I can use, is using that 3% advantage on TikTok, and I can keep it nominal on the prices. So even like now, I'm buying some booster boxes from a distributor connection, and by doing that, I'm getting them packs at 285, and now as they're coming in at that price, I'm able to sell them for around 350, 355 a pack, which makes it very, very competitive in the market when it comes down to those particular items. Let's see, we're the Kanto Green. You have all the poncho wearing Pikachu just buy out. Been watching, yeah. Actually, there's been some really good deals on the poncho Pikachus lately. They've been selling fairly good. So thanks, Kanto Green, for putting that out there. But yeah, no, definitely check out the poncho Pikachus. I mean, there's been some really good pricing on some of those singles out there currently. I went crazy on inventory, and now I have to pay about $1,000 to grade. Oh boy. Yeah, then you went really good on inventory, which is not always a bad problem to have, as long as you have the capital to be able to do it. But yeah, there's definitely, if you get the right cards and you have some leeway in it, definitely a great opportunity to get some grading done currently. I think right now the market is still doing well in the grading. It's definitely, in my opinion, become a much tighter market than what it was even a year and a half ago. We're starting to see that tighten up quite a bit. We're definitely seeing that part coming forward where it's going to be a little bit snugger, I think, as time continues to go on. That market's getting more and more saturated every day. There's more and more people seeing the quick tendies in that market, and when they see that, they start piling into it. And that's why, like Java and I talked about on our Choose Your Path on Thursday, that, maybe that's why we're kind of moving out of it. Him and I both kind of saw the same thing, and we kind of started to back away from grading. It's not that we're stopped grading, and I won't stop grading. I mean, there's still opportunities in it. It's just I've really backed out of my main part of it being the grading and moved into a different area, just because, once again, you got to stay a couple hurdles ahead. And when you can find that direction and gets you a little bit ahead of everybody else, that's when you can make some decent money when it comes down to it. And then you could, have that advantage of being ahead of it and being maybe one of the first ones into that particular market. James from Alamo City, 11 people here and 4 likes. Smash the like button. If you haven't already, show your support and help the algorithm. Thank you, James from Alamo City. Greatly appreciate it. I see we got 7 likes, but guys, make sure you guys do hit that like button. It helps out a ton to get this video out there and more, the more likes that we can hit. So we got 10 people out there currently. Hit that like button. Just go back, hit the like button, help out the channel. It definitely is a good thing. Let's see. Kanto Green, also Chilling Rain, Blaziken been buying out too. Yeah, the Blaziken went down quite a bit, and I did actually talk about that on one of my investment videos here a month ago, that the Blaziken had dropped quite a bit. Overall, I kind of thought it would go back up, and watch for those markets to be able to jump on that card, because it's a very popular card. A lot of people do like that particular card, that VMAX, and I think that it will go back up, and I think we're going to see some really good movement on these alternate arts again. I think people went to tag team. Now they're losing interest in tag team because, hey, tag team cards are now $4,000 to $7,000, $8,000, whatever they are, $1,000 all the way up plus on some of them tag team cards. So now, once again, that market's gone up, and now people are going to go back to alternate arts. You're going to see them kind of bounce. You're going to see this market, especially as Sword and Shield continues. We're going to see like these IRs and SIRs. I think that they're going to move to those, and they're going to see them increase, and they're going to move back to alternate arts. They're going to increase. You're going to go tag teams. They're going to increase. You're going to just see them kind of bounce between these artworks, because there are some really good artworks. All of them, all these sets have really, really good artworks. Tag team cards are really cool because they're unique. They're the only time that we've seen 2 Pokemon, and sometimes 2 Pokemon and a trainer on these cards. So they have their unique features to them that people really are drawn to. And overall, I think that that's a really good thing. And that's why we're going to see that market kind of shifting back and forth. Alternate arts went down. Tag teams went up. Tag teams are kind of coming down. Alternate arts might start moving up. And we're going to continue to see things kind of keep moving around when it comes down to these particular specialty arts in these eras. Let's see. Don asked a good question earlier today. Will these ancient and future Pokemon have an impact long term? I see it happening if pop stays low. I think so too. If the population stays low when it comes down to grading, yes, I think that they'll do really well futuristically. Ancient and future Pokemon to me are kind of a cool concept. I didn't know how I was truly going to feel about it when it came out, but the more and more I'm seeing it now, especially Paradox Rift, opening more and more Paradox Rift, and also now with Temporal Forces coming out, I think that I think it's getting really cool. They're doing some really cool artwork. Yeah, some of it looks dumb. I don't really agree with some of the Pokemon and how they, backed them up, but I also do see some potential of them catching on, and some of them doing really well futuristically on how well that they look in the idea, like Iron Valiant, one of them that I think is a really cool concept. It's a really cool SIR. It's a really cool Pokemon in general. I think it's really neat the way that they did that particular one. I definitely see that overall doing rather well futuristically, and I enjoy it. I think that there's some really good things on that part of it. But yeah, ancient, the ancient and future Pokemon, will it have a long-term impact? It'll be interesting to see how long Pokemon runs with it. That's going to really determine how much of a long-term impact that we see on that for terms. If Pokemon continues to go with this and goes through it for the rest of Scarlet and Violet, we could maybe see some really, really good long-term impact. If Pokemon only does it for a couple more sets and then kind of returns back to the standard, single format, even like Battle Styles, they do that split, and they did it for Chilling Reign, and then coming to Evolutions or Evolving Skies, then that branch recombined again, and then we went back to Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, and going all the way through the rest of them, they all merged back into one line again. So even though we had that split with the Battle Styles, even technically we had 3 branches with Fusion Strike, but Fusion Strike was its own set. They stopped branching as much and they started combining again, and then they went to V-Stars where they combined it all back together. And if they do that, I don't think it's going to have a long term. It's going to have the same long term effect as it did with the Battle Styles, with the Fighting type and Single Strike and Rapid Strike and Fusion Strike aspect. It'll be cool. It'll branch for a while, and then they'll bring it back together, and then it's going to lose its strength overall if they don't continue to do it through the rest of the era. Yep, have you ever seen that? Hey, Pika Pika, thanks for being here. Nice to see you in the chat. We got Scarlet and Violet 151, Best Buy Bulbasaur promo, GameStop Charmander promo, Pokemon Center Squirtle promo, and together Eevee and Pikachu promo, selling a set, and it sells very well. Yeah, they do. Actually, I think the Charmander promo is really, really strong too. I just looked at it the other day because I was actually uploading stuff in the Binder POS, and it was in there. It was actually doing extremely well for a promo of its age, especially something that wasn't like as hyped as much as that Squirtle. So yeah, I definitely see that being some really good incentive for people to purchase when you can give them the whole bundle of those particular promos. Definitely a good selling point when you can bundle things together like that. I FOMO, the inventory went throughout, small profit in the 9s, big bucks in a 10. Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see too. And then I think also as it gets more and more saturated, I think that you're going to see those 10s start to kind of come down too. Because the problem is more people that are grading, the more 10s that come out, the less market that there is to get them. And you're going to see those drops quicker. Older cards, I don't think will be affected as much. If you're talking X, Y era cards, even Sun and Moon era cards, I think that the gradability of those is continuing to diminish as time goes on. They get moved, they get shifted, they get mailed, whatever. They go to get, all these different things. Every time that they move and do a lot of traveling and get shipped, there's more and more damage to those particular cards and more wear on those cards, which makes them harder and harder to get a 10. It's kind of like finding WotC era cards. I got a whole binder of WotC era cards that I picked up, and none of them are that good. They were in the binder the whole time, but the binder had been moved so many times that it actually caused wear and tear on the cards, even inside the sleeves. And even though they were protected and they did a decent job, I mean, they didn't put sleeves on them. Of course, they were WotC era, but these were a younger person's thing. The only thing that actually held up pretty well is they double stacked a lot of energies, and the center energies actually look really good. The outside, the back, and the front one are junk, but they put like 5 in a pocket, and the 3 in the middle are actually really good shape. Some of those I'm considering grading and sending them out because actually those stamped energies have been doing really well. And if you can get those 10s and some of those stamped, like Neo era ones, some of the other eras where they actually had stamps per set for the energies, they're actually doing really well. And there's some really good opportunities in those particular energies for something that costs less than, around a cent or less. Even when I did the binder, I never considered the price of those. I just kind of said, they're in the binder. I never considered a price for them, but going back and looking, there's actually some value in those particular ones. Let's see. Kanto Green, are you going to Florida Collecticon? No, I'm not going to the Florida Collecticon. I'm going to the North Carolina Collecticon, and I am also going to be heading off to the Chicago Collecticon. So I'll be going to those two this year. Chicago, I'd be silly not to. It's only 4 hours away. I'm going to just drive there myself. And when it comes down to North Carolina, it's just going to be a trip. It's close to my grandma, so we're going to go over and see my grandma over in Tennessee. And then we're going to drive over to the Collecticon in North Carolina and then drive back to Tennessee. So we're going to make it about a week-long trip, and then we're going to come back to mid that next week. So just makes sense. We're going to go there and then spend some time with my grandma, and then we're going to go to Collecticon as this is split off. So let's see. Sourcing is a massive time. It is. Sourcing is such and especially now, and like I said, I've talked to other people about this. The bigger thing with sourcing is it used to be you had a source, you went to that source, and you could always know that source had the cards you were looking for, or the quality was there. Now even my sources are starting to do a little bit of a bid war on some of these good cards. So they know they have good cards, they know they're popular, and those are people that want them, and they're starting to say, well, this person's offering me $13 for that card. Will you offer me a little bit more, and I'll send it to you because you're my loyal customer. Yeah, it's getting to be more and more difficult with the sourcing, too. It's just driving me crazy. James from the Alamo City, Evolving Skies is skyrocketing at a super fast pace. The 575 mark likely by mid to late March, and 600 in sight. Possibly may hit 1,000 by the end of the year or early 2025 on this pace. Likely to correct as well. I think so. Let me just pull it open because I was going to look at it. I'm going to look it up in PokeData here real quick because I'm in there. Evolving Skies. Okay. Because I don't remember where we were at. I know it's been moving up again. So yeah, we're kind of plateauing again here. So I think this is what we're going to continue to see. So yeah, right now we're about 560 currently. Once again, though, if you look at it, we're right at the end. The real big shoot here happened once again the end of February, which is what I was saying. The end of February really lightened up and really had some big movement in it all of a sudden. So people were willing to jump in on that opportunity here at the end of February. I'm going in the TCG players. So yeah, the next unopened one is listed for $615 currently. And they have two of them listed at that price. So meaning the next one's available. Yeah, and then we're up to 650. We're up to 675. Yeah, I mean, it's got a chance of going really high. It's just a question of whether or not people are going to be willing to spend that kind of money. That's going to be the bigger question when it comes down to it overall. Once again, I'm not really following Evolving Skies too heavily just because I have a good position in it currently. And I'm just kind of waiting it out. And if it hits $1,000, absolutely great. I don't know if it will push that far that fast, but we are seeing a big insurgence. And this time of the year is when we will see the most movement. Potentially early next year might be the point of where it pushes it just over that edge, where we might see it at $1,000 come the next tax season. Once we get past tax season, though, spending big money on those things, especially when you start crossing that $500 range, is really that's the end for most people. For probably 95% of the people, $500 is going to be your cutoff for impulse buy. And that's where you got to be considering, is it going to sell as well? And is it going to continue this trend as the impulse buy kind of dies? Because you even look at Evolving Skies, yeah, now it's doing some shooting, but you look at it for the last year, it really did not move from realistically March of last year. And then there was a little bit of gain in August where we went from 380 up to so we were at 395 to 450. So that's when we hit that 450 mark and it kind of stagnated. So we've had two big jumps in it. And now here at the end of the year from December on up, we saw a big boom again. The question is once people run out of expendable money, will that be able to maintain? And that's something to consider too. The higher the booster box gets, the more the pyramid gets smaller, the less amount of people that can actually jump in on that particular product. And it would really condense the amount of people that'll have impulse buy on that particular item. So it's going to be a lot thought out, a lot of expendable money. And this is a time of the year when we will see a big jump in Evolving Skies. There's no question on that. Let's see. How do you feel about Prize Pack Series 1 cards? Most have been doing really well. VMAX and Vs are popular Pokemon. And the stamp on them. The stamp really does extremely well. Even the Prize Series 4 now, because At the Pokemon tournaments and stuff we go to, we get the prize pack series 4s now. They have really good cards in them too that are doing really well, just because of the fact that they got that stamp also. That stamp sets them apart. So like the VMAX Charizard from the prize series pack 1, the VMAX Charizard, which is the same one in Darkness Ablaze, I think is like $180. So just by getting that stamp on it and making it more exclusive to those prize packs versus it coming out of Darkness Ablaze, you're seeing a lot of different variations and some really good points to that. Stamp cards always seem to draw a little bit of a premium, and it's a little bit more exclusive than buying it out of Darkness Ablaze by getting it through those prize packs. It's a little bit harder to pull out of the prize packs, and thus with the stamp, it's really driving a premium. And that always occurs on some of those big chase cards too when they're in those prize packs. I FOMO. It's nice to hear some positivity on the Ancient Future. I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's a cool concept. But the long term, I don't know how well it's going to perform long term. It's going to depend on what Pokemon does with it. If they do like Battle Styles where they did it with, like I said, 2 sets, then it may not have a long lasting impact overall. Kento Green, are you ready for the Mega Evolutions coming back? I was kind of disappointed in the Mega Evolutions, to be honest with you. You did the lowercase EX, you should have did Gold Stars. Mega Evolutions could have waited. We should have gone Gold Star. Gold Star would have been the way to go because you were in the EX era. You were back in the Gold Star labeling with the lowercase EX. We should have been Gold Stars, man. Gold Star Flareon, Gold Star Mewtwo, Gold Star Pikachu, and Scarlet and Violet. I'd be like, some bitch, take my money. But yeah, I think Megas are going to be the next big change. That's going to be a good change overall. I mean, like I said, you were going to get a new rarity. It was just a matter of what it was going to be. The next set looks like we're getting. I didn't realize that was coming, but I bet you that's the next rarity. It's coming in the new set. So there's probably going to be a rarity shift. I think we should have seen Gold Stars personally. My FOMO, Pika, my bad. My chat froze. No worries. Let's see. I FOMO. I learned how to pre-grade, and now I know too much. Yeah, if you don't want to know, don't learn. Let's see. James from Alamo, your top 5 favorite Sword and Shield alternate art cards, the ones that you haven't pulled that you want to. Your top 5 151 cards, ones you haven't pulled. Top 5 alternate arts for me. What really sucks is they pulled my alternate art. So the Flareon one, of course, was going to be one of them. So Eevee Heroes, definitely one of the ones that I want the Flareon V and VMAX out of that one for. But they put it in the boxes here in the United States, so I have already a couple copies of them because I was trying to find a gradable one. Other top 5s, I definitely like the Umbreon V. That's probably my second favorite one right now in the current market, or first that's actually a pullable one. I like the Charizard V. That's probably one of my top ones I've been chasing. I finally pulled that one about a month ago, so I'm happy I finally got that one. The Tina, I think, is a really good card overall. It's a really good chase, particularly. The Lugia, I think, is a really strong one, just because it's nostalgic for me, being from the Neo era and being involved in the Neo era when it came out. I definitely think that it is one in that top 5. And then the last one that I really want to say that I like is that Gengar VMAX. Overall, I like Gengar too. So Gengar, one of my side favorite Pokemon that I do enjoy having them. As you can see, I carry some Gengar stuff around. He's a cool character. Overall, that dark and devious side of him is really cool, and having that VMAX is really a nice little addition to the collection. Ones that I have not pulled yet myself, from Chilling Reign, the ones that I would like to still get that I haven't gotten is Chilling Reign. There's a couple of them out of there, but I would really like to. Get, as funny as it sounds, I like to get that Rapidash. I think that that's a really cool artwork from Chilling Reign. The Moltres too. I haven't pulled the Moltres. I've pulled the Zapdos and I've pulled the Articuno. I have not pulled the Moltres yet out of Chilling Reign. I would love to get that as a pull. The Sleepy T-Tar. I've gotten the Empoleon. I've gotten both the Urshifus. I have not gotten that. And the Aerodactyl. I think the Aerodactyl too is a really cool card. I'd love to pull it. I have not pulled it for myself yet. I pulled it live on, a stream for TikTok. I've pulled it for someone, but I have not pulled it personally for myself yet. So that's another alternate art that I definitely would love to have. Your top 5 151 cards. So Top 5 151 cards. Number 1 is that Blastoise. I love that Blastoise artwork overall. I think that's a fantastic looking card, and I like it a lot more than the Charizard. Charizard kind of, I never did like the Charizard in that particular set. I mean, I know it's a chase, of course, it's a Charizard, but the fact they made that thing like microscopic flying in the background, it's like, why couldn't you have made a decent Charizard like the Blastoise? Venusaur is even a fairly decent one comparatively to that. Other ones inside of 151, I do like the Zapdos card. I did pull that one myself. Really, really nice looking card overall. I do like all three of all the little starters, or the starters trio, or first 2 evolutions. I think both the Charmander, the Charmeleon, the Squirtle, the Wartortle, the Bulbasaur, and the Ivysaur are really, really cool. But, you know, I think they're really, really cool artworks, and I think that those are really fun to get. So basically kind of a mix of those ones would be in the top 5. I don't know. It's really hard for me to place them on right off the top of my head without really, really dissecting that part of it. When it comes down to the ones I haven't pulled yet, I still need to pull the Venusaur. I really would like to get that one to finish my collection on that part of it. There's a couple of the IRs too that I still need to pull out of there that I'm kind of missing that I would love to get. I'm trying to think of what's kind of the big one. I haven't gotten the Alakazam. I'd want to get the Alakazam yet. I did not get that one yet out of there. So that's one of the SIRs that I want to pull. I have not gotten that one, and I have not pulled the Venusaur yet. So those are the 2 I need to get from my collection. But overall, that's kind of where I'm at 151. Most of the 151, I think I've pulled. I'm missing like 4 cards in 151 that I haven't pulled. So I'd have to really look and see. So I'm doing really good on the Master Set. I've almost completely got that one finished. It's just the Ivysaur I know I haven't pulled, and I haven't pulled the Alakazam. I've got the Charizard, the Blastoise, got all of the evolutionary lines except for the Venusaur. So that's kind of where I'm at on those ones. iFOMO. I just paid my sources whatever they charged me. Exactly. If you want to do that, yeah, then it's really easy to source cards. Yeah, I'll just take my money. Hopefully it's less than the graded card at a PSA 10. We're good. They do all the work. Thank you for the service. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's at when it comes down to sourcing. Some of mine are really good, and just because I bought with them for a long period of time, I can still get things fairly easily. There's just some of them, you know, that they're more money driven, of course, and if that's the case, they are going to try and get a little bit more. And probably 3/4 of mine have gone to that, where, you know, someone gets there first, and I come for the same card even a little bit later. They'll give it to me, but they want a premium for them to do that, and I just don't play those games. But I do have a couple sources that I still source cards, and that's why I'm still grading, is because those sources are reliable and I can get what I need from them. But in general, you know, it's changing, and that market's going to continue to fluctuate as time goes on. So let's see. Yes, the stamped cards for series 1 really good. Yeah. Stamped cards always do well in general. iFOMO, 3rd Mega for Charizard coming soon. Yep. We'll have another Mega here shortly. James from the Alamo City. I slept on Fusion Strike like many did. Come on, I even told you guys to buy it because it was going to go out. I gave you a warning to buy it on Pokemon Center. A lot of people did, though. Let's be honest. I mean, a lot of people didn't. I think a lot of people have a hard time believing that we're going to see these products shoot when they sell off a Pokemon Center. I think that there's still hesitation on that. Now I'm hoping after seeing it on 2 sets that people will see the trend. Now, do I think that Astral Radiance is going to do that? I don't think Astral Radiance is going to do that. I think Astral Radiance is still behind everything else. It's not as strong of a set. It doesn't have a strong trainer gallery. You know, the Machamp's just not that strong. The Origin Form, Palkia and Dialga aren't performing as hot as the Tina or the Arceus. You know, you got Charizard and Brilliant Stars. You got Garantina in Lost Origins. You got Lugia and Silver Tempest. I think that Astral Radiance is definitely going to be behind. Silver Tempest is also going to lag a little bit, but I think that Lugia is going to have a little bit more drive than the Machamp Big Chase will, personally. Let's see. Fusion Strike. iFOMO. A buddy finally bought what he thinks is a PSA take candidate, Tina. Look, does he know that it crooked? It's crooked. Oh no. It's shifted. Oh, that drives you crazy when that happens. So let me see. Pull my binder. So I got one Tina. My daughter pulled it. So it still counts. It counts as a pull if my daughter pulls it. And it's off center. And that was the bigger thing on this one. You can see top to bottom, it's off by quite a bit. So that's the only reason that one hasn't gone out. And then the other one here too is that I should send it in. I was going to send it in to Pokemon and I never did. And I probably should still try. Is I got this Lumineon V. So I pulled this Lumineon. I was really excited right when I got it. And that's one from Brilliant Stars, because this was one of the chases. So you got the Lumineon. I took it out of the sleeve. I don't know if you can see it, but look at the back right here and right here. There are actually machine marks where you can see it. There it is. You can really see it right there. How that thing went through the machine like that. And it's actually like scratched and indented. So I should probably get a hold of Pokemon Center, because supposedly you can do that. And they will actually send you a new card for that kind of issue. So might try it. Might be a way to get that Lumineon at a fairly decent price at that point. Or get it back and be able to maybe do something with that one. Kanto Green, what set is your biggest investment so far? My biggest investment is in Evolving Skies currently. It was my biggest investment from the beginning. My wife damn near killed me when I did it, but I bought 10 cases of Evolving Skies when it went down to $99 a booster box. I bought it for $104 shipped to my house. It was over $6,000 investment at that point when I did it. But I had really good faith that Evolving Skies was going to be a very strong set. And I knew it. I knew by what it was, what was in it, what with the Rayquaza, with the evolutions, the popularity of evolutions, the Rayquaza, the fact that it was such a goated set. I did it. And within 6 months, we were already over 180. And when we hit almost 185, I sold out of 5 cases just to really reduce that and get that money back, some of it. But I still have 5 cases of Evolving Skies right now, 5 sealed cases of Evolving Skies. So that is currently my biggest investment by far, and that is probably the biggest pillar right now in my investment. So overall, most of mine is sitting there right now on Evolving Skies is probably my biggest investment, my biggest pillar right now in my investment portfolio. I have a little bit of every set. I have 2 cases of every other set, all the way back to Vivid Voltage. Before that, I have like 1 case of Darkness Ablaze. I have no cases of Rebels Clash. I have a couple booster boxes, and I have a couple booster boxes of Sword and Shield. Otherwise, I sold out of all of my tag team stuff really early, which is kind of the boom happened, and I sold out of a lot of that stuff to use it, and it was up really high at that point. I have some tag team boxes. I bought a couple more of those back when it was about $800. So when I told everybody back in April 2022 that you should be considering tag team at like $780 a box, I bought 2 at that point also, because a lot of times when I'm telling you guys stuff, and I always kind of reiterate that quite a bit, I'm telling you to buy stuff typically when I'm buying. If I'm buying something and I'm seeing this, a lot of this stuff is like a vlog, because I'm actually purchasing the stuff I'm telling you that are good purchases, because I think that there's some really good opportunity into them. And I explain the pros and cons of both of them. I try and give everybody on this channel kind of what the pros are and why I think it's going to do really well. But I always like to give, even in my head, the cons of this doing, or what could happen on that fact. So again, a lot of the stuff that I do talk about is stuff I'm currently purchasing. I was buying Evolving Skies. Everybody else was running away from it because booster boxes were crashing because of the supply, and I was sitting there buying a bunch of them. So Chilling Reign, I have 4 cases of Chilling Reign. I have 2 cases of Battle Styles. So basically the most part of my investment currently is in Evolving Skies. So Saul P, thank you so much for stopping in. Quick question. I have a ton of bulk and don't know what to do with it. What do you usually do with it? And code cards. I have thousands of code cards just sitting there. Any ideas? So, as you can see behind me, I have all my bulk sorted, which is always the fun part of bulk. This is my box breaking. So I've got, from just box breaking, I literally have box after box. This has been Guys, this has been a week and a half's worth of stuff. So I've got 4 more of those sitting here. Um, when it comes down to your bulk, there's two options. Even myself, I'm looking at giving the option of buying bulk. If you have unsorted bulk, you haven't gone through it, I'm willing to buy some of that. If it's sorted, I will not, because I'm not going to buy people's stuff that won't sell. That's basically why I won't buy sorted bulk. But if you've got unsorted bulk, I'm going to be looking at doing a purchasing on that now, so people could sell. I'll buy people's bulk because I am trying to continue that bulk business going. I have Binder POS. I use that because I have close to 55,000, almost 60,000 bulk cards now. Probably after this, I will be over 60. And they are all currently listed through Binder POS on Pokemon or TCG Player and on eBay. So most of my sales come through those two places. If you want to look at another place, I do have a Spotify or Shopify. I keep saying Shopify website too that I have set up, and that's just it. So a lot of it, code cards too. Code cards you can list on TCG Player. They actually do sell code cards on there, and people do buy them pretty regularly. Some of the older ones, like Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, will sell for like 25-30 cents for them code cards. So there are some good value in some of the older sets when it comes down to code cards, especially in that kind of alternate art era, because people are trying to, get those alternate arts on their Pokemon Center, or on their Pokemon Live TCGO. So there are some good opportunities through that. Binder POS, though, unless you're turning a couple $100 a month, it really doesn't make sense. Starting out, you could sort it and start listing it on TCG Player. Make a TCG Player account and just start listing it overall, and you can see some really good sales. Trainers sell extremely well. Reverse hollows, they all sell fairly decently. There are some duds, there always is, but your bulk will condense fairly good. And as time goes on, you'd be amazed at how much of the older stuff starts to sell just as fast as the newer stuff. So there is some really good opportunities with bulk with that. It's just a grind. And that's the worst part about it, is if you want to make money in bulk, you're going to be grinding. You're going to be grinding hard. That's what I did starting out in 2019. That's what I'm going back to again. It's just a good little business on the side. It makes about $400 to $500 a month through my bulk that I do. So there's really that good value. Binder POS became really, really a necessity when it came down to the overall trying to maintain that $400 or $500, because then that Binder POS gave you the ability to be able to manipulate and drive those prices where you wanted them to be competitive in that market without having to go and individually change the pricing of every single item. And it does it every 6 hours on TCG Player now. So every 6 hours, it updates the pricing based on where the current sales are on TCG Player. And you can set it as the mid, the high, the low, whatever you want to set it at. And then you can change it just a little bit and tweak some things. You can do whatever you need to on Binder POS. It gives you some good advantages. But once again, you got to be planning on selling at least a couple $100 in bulk to be able to do that. Because, Shopify is $30 a month and Binder POS is $99 a month. So I got to turn at least $140 a month with tax in order to be able to maintain those two websites or those two sites. So just an update, just an idea, but otherwise you can find some places that want to buy them. I'm going to be looking at putting up buying too if people want to ship me bulk, and then I can give you pricing on it, go through it, and I can give you a price on it. And either give you credit towards some of my steel product on TikTok, or you can I'll cash write you out. That's fine. I can send you a payment through PayPal or whatever would work for you. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different options with bulk. It just depends on how much workload you want to put into it. That's basically what it comes down to. Bought 5 cases of Fusion Strike booster boxes, opened 1 case, and it was the poorly, very loose, Pokeball wrap one. Although going to be hard to sell individually. You'd be amazed. They still sell really well. As long as that's on there, you're probably just fine. As long as it's got the Pokeball Hollow and it looks decent, you're probably fine. And people know, the biggest thing is people know that was an issue. So I had a person get mad at, kind of sit there and accuse me of, I'll pull one out here because I think they're on these ones. So if anybody remembers, if anybody's been in the hobby for more than just a couple years, these got them too. So if you remember back when even Hidden Fates, Battle Styles, all the early sets, before Pokemon really took over Millennial Plate Group, they used to always get this like double seal mark on a lot of the packs. And it's kind of right. I don't know if I can make it show up, but if you look right there in the light, you can kind of see where my finger is. There's like a double glare right there where it makes a really weird seal mark on the packs. and someone opened a perfectly sealed Battle Styles ETB. They opened it, and they're opening Battle Styles ETBs for packs. They opened it, and then they went, well, I think these packs are tampered with. And it's like, no, that came straight from distributor. They were distributor boxes that I've had sealed since they came out from Southern Hobby. So I highly doubt that they were tampered with, but it is there. That mark has been there since Hidden Fate. I mean, it was back in Tag Team era too. It was whatever company was doing it, left that mark on the packs when they sealed them. And I think a lot of us old school Pokemon people know that that mark is there and we don't even consider it. So, but it's something to be considering too, that newer people in the hobby don't know that that's there because they didn't open those packs. They're new at the end of Sword and Shield through the alternate art run and like past the first year. And that's a big thing that people really get concerned about. Let's see. Pika Pika. Yeah, the printing is bad in the, ultra modern block. My Sword and Shield trainer gallery sets have fuzzy edges. Yeah, they all do. The fuzzy edges were getting pretty bad, especially when you're getting into like Silver Tempest and that. The fuzzy edges, they weren't sharpening anything anymore at that point. It's like they were just ramming them through. Kanto Green, you did well on Evo investment. I did. Like I said, that set for a long time really did grow on me. I really did enjoy that set. So that's why I especially doubled down on it. I wasn't too concerned about it. I mean, people were saying the sky was falling back in that December 2021 because all them, we had Brilliant or Shining Fates, we had Battle Styles, we had Chilling Reign, we had Evolving Skies, we had Celebrations, we had Fusion Strike, and Celebrate, or everything from Evolving Skies back to Shining Fates. It all gotten massive reprints. Those print to every order that was out there when it came down to those particular sets. And the pricing was just dirt cheap. Evolving Skies still never dropped. I mean, Chilling Reign, Chilling Reign and Battle Styles both went down. Chilling Reign was sub 80. You had Battle Styles that was sub 75 for some places. And still, Evolving Skies only went down to about $99. Not too many people got it below $99. And if they did, they were a very select few. Some people say they did. I never had an opportunity or saw it. So it might have been some private deals or through LCSs that they knew. But overall, even then, it went down to $99 and then it caught itself. And then it kind of went up. I bought those, and then within a week later, they were already back up to $113, $115. And that guy that I bought them from was kind of, he called me up and said, you are lucky that you bought them when you did, because I would have just held them at that point as fast as they recovered. So once again, I got lucky and I spent a lot of money. I took a really big gamble on Evolving Skies. So sometimes you just got to take the shots. I mean, do I suggest that for everybody? No, but if it's there, sometimes you can and you should. I mean, there's good opportunities that if you have a really strong feeling about something, sometimes there's some real good merit behind that. James from the Alamo City. I sell my code cards to sell PokeCards app, and they pay me via PayPal. Okay. iFOMO, very expensive, Andy. I go old school. List it manually on TCG Player and add a picture as an incentive. And that will work. Sorry, missed you, Brown CLM. Thank you for joining in. I know you're a little bit late, but we're going to be going just a little bit longer here, so I'm going to try and get through all the questions. But yeah, it is very expensive, but for convenience, it's worth it. Like I said, I can make about $450 to $500 a month. Sometimes, like right now, it's like $900 a month. So if I don't have to sit there and manually change 50,000 cards worth of bulk and have one get away from me, I can make let Binder POS make the adjustments so that I don't miss that market change and get on top of it when it happens. It's worth every bit. I mean, if I can make another 10, 20 cents per card because the market fluctuated up that much, then it's a great buy. It pays for itself. So far, for the 7 months I've had it, it's always paid for itself. I've never, ever not made more than double, if not triple, the price that I paid for Binder POS. So it's definitely worth it overall for me, and it works really well for an inventory system too, because I can keep track of what I have, and even when I'm building decks myself, I can look through my trainer list on Binder POS and just pull what I need and be able to change that or update that inventory without digging through, going and digging all the way through TCG Player to try and find some of those cards, because like trainer cards, every era has several of the same trainer cards, and sometimes it gets hard to find which one's which. Let's see. James from Alamo City. They pay out the most per code card on the new set releases. Typically the highest within the first. Yeah, and that makes sense. Some of the old ones come back, but yeah, it's definitely. If it works, it's definitely a great thing. I've never used it personally, but if I could look into it also. I just list them right when I'm listing my cards with Binder POS. I just put them in there, and then they adjust them based on the market itself. So let's see. Where am I? You guys all put a bunch of questions. Okay, here we go. Kanto Green. What should I do? I bought 20 cases of the RCSV boxes with the Cosmic Eclipse sell or pack, sell or hold, and have 60 boxes of EV premium boxes. I think both of them are actually really good holds, personally. I haven't really paid attention because I've got, geez, what do I got? I probably got 15 cases of the 10, 15 cases. I don't remember if I got 10 or 15 of the Arceus, the V boxes with Cosmic Eclipse. I've been watching the price of Cosmic Eclipse. I figured that price of that Cosmic Eclipse pack and the packs inside of there may actually overrun the value of the box itself. I'm gonna look right now because I'm just curious to know where that is. Once again, it's one of those things I put them away because I was always planning on long-term investments on them. And if you're planning on long-term investments, you kind of forget about some of them to just see where they go. So I mean, they're up. They're about $40. But if you go inside of there right now, the Cosmic Eclipse pack right now is $20 by itself. Then you got the 2 Brilliant Stars, and those sell pretty easily on a lot of sites for around $5. And Chilling Rain right now is going for about $5, going about $5 too. So you got 5, 10, 20, so 5, 10, 15. You got $35 just in the packs. I mean, realistically, you could make $35 in the packs if you broke them out of there and you sold them right. So I always figure that what's going to happen is that the packs inside of here will probably outperform that box eventually, and I'll probably just tear them all down potentially. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Next one. Brown CLM. Imagine if Pokemon Center made a stamped Pikachu in the gray felt. Bro, don't put that evil on us. Brown, don't give them any ideas. We don't need that kind of problems in our lives. Gimbo, thank you for joining in. Hi, question. Do you get any sort of discount on 151 booster bundle cases through distribution? Wondering how much of a sucker I am buying MSRP. So I never even seen them to distribution. I never got an opportunity because, once again, I didn't get into distribution soon enough for Paldean Fates or the get in on those ones. So I did not get them. I actually picked a bunch of them up at, what was it, $26.99 or whatever they were. I bought 3 from like 4 different accounts on Best Buy, 3 from different accounts on Target. I bought, wherever I could get them, I was grabbing 3. Usually I had a quantity of 3. And I ended up buying a total of, 90? I bought a total of 90 of them through different sites by using 3 accounts at a time. But it took forever, and I got them. But honestly, out of those, that one right there, you can see, is the only one I have left that I was out of those 90. So they are all in my bulk pile. They flew. The second that they went, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you with those. They were selling them on TikTok for $39.99 for the boxes. I was selling them for $36.99 and they flew. They were gone. So that was a very quick turn and burn for me on those. I've got a case of those that I have in storage from when I first for investment purposes, but this next time they came for sale and I figured they would be really, really hot and they flew. I think they're all the way back up to $36.99 again all over. So it didn't take very long for them to recover off of that little reprint that came out. Let's see. Where am I at? Trying to keep up. I'm going to answer. So I'm going to go down to Navi Station's last question, or right where he says iFOMO. Just so everybody knows, I'm getting way overtime now, and I try and keep her close for my wife. Personally, I never got into the Gray Felt Hat Pikachu. I've been seeing people selling cases of them now, and in the boxes of 25 quantity. What do you feel about the card? I think it's overrated, personally. I like the Pikachu cards. I think that it's a really cool little art piece. I have one, like I said, I just wanted one for my collection to go with my Scream collection, my Scream Art collection. But overall, I think that price was way overhyped. There was just so much excitement behind it, and there's a ton of that card. It's not like it's a underprinted card by any means. Do I think that the price is going to stay is going to stay up a little ways? Yeah. I think overall Pikachu's always draw out a premium, and I think it's going to drop for a while here, and then it's going to come back. But yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more of those going for sale, because I think people are getting really scared now due to the fact that the price is dropping so fast. And a lot of people bought those secondary market and spent a lot of money on them on the secondary market too. So that's just my personal feelings on it. I like the Pikachu. I wanted it for my collection, just for the art collection that I had. But overall, I just think it was an overpriced. It got way out of hand way too fast. Let's see. Brown CLM. I never got the gray felt hat, but I was imagining that what it would do. The website for inventory. Yeah. Well, they cleaned out a lot of inventory with that. That's for sure. Ernie Northwoods. How are you tonight? What's been selling well as of late? Well, I talked about the beginning, Ernie. So if you go back and watch, I actually talk about the market and what's currently happening. But the 151, like I just said, selling extremely fast, especially if you can get an MSRP. ETBs are not the same story. ETBs do not move very well. They're really, really slow, and you can still pick them up at a lot. Like my Walmart still has a bunch of them on the shelf. They're just not selling at price right now. But the boosters, or the little bundles, are wildfire. They just go as fast as they come in. Otherwise, like I said, Champion's Path is selling extremely well now. I've been trying to cut my inventory on that. I had close to 90 of them, and I'm trying to get down to like 30. So I want to keep 3 sealed boxes of Champion's Path. So I want to take that money and reallocate it more to more current stuff, and trying to, once again, reallocate that money a little bit and move it around to what I'm trying to get to and what I want to get done, or what I want to move to. So overall, that's definitely something that's doing really well. Pokemon 151, Champion's Path, people are getting money, getting expendable money, and they're willing to buy those collection pieces. They're willing to buy those, those extra costs that they normally wouldn't spend on. XY Evolutions is selling really well. Packs now, single packs are running really, really hot. So overall, there's some really good marketability on a lot of different products right now. Everything in March, I think, is going to continue to move up, and sellability is going to continue to increase throughout the month as more and more people get that money in. Navi Station, thank you so much for joining. What's the oldest booster box that you own? Oldest one I have is I have a... trying to think. I have an XY Flashfire, and I think XY Flashfire. I was gonna buy some black and white ones before the craziness, and I never did. I had them all listed. I was gonna buy them all at one big shot back in 2000. I got them all together in like early 2020. I was gonna buy all of them at one shot, and I never did. I ended up holding on them, and then of course the market went crazy and then shot. So I never did get those particular ones, but I do have a Flashfire box. It's probably the oldest one that I personally own. XY Evolutions, I have 3 XY Evolutions boxes left, and I'm trying to think if I got anything in between Flashfire. No, I never did get a Phantom Forces, and I was kind of disappointed with myself. I should have bought that one too, because I wanted to get it for the Gengar card and everything in there. So yeah, my oldest one's gonna be a Flashfire. That's the oldest box that I've got in my collection. Likewise, let me see. Gimbo, are you looking for wholesale price? Gimbo, well, I am wondering if paying MSRP for 151 booster bundles is stupid, or should I try and get a case? No, it's not stupid at all to buy them at MSRP. If you can still get them at MSRP, Gimbo, I would buy them in a heartbeat. If you've got a source that has them at MSRP, let me know, because I will buy them from them also. Trust me. Those booster bundles are little fireballs. They go fast, and they are really, really wanted. I wouldn't get distro. It's a scam in my opinion, especially right now. You don't need distro for booster boxes. Prices have been so low, and I agree. When it comes down to distro for booster boxes, the booster boxes are actually cheaper on the secondary market. I haven't bought a single booster box from distro just because of the fact that I can go buy them for $80 and sometimes less for some of these things, $90 under, and you can't buy them from distro for less than $95. If I buy any booster boxes right now of any of the modern sets from Distro, it's $95 all day long. Same with like the Pokemon 151 and the Paldean Fates ETBs. There is no real good price difference on them because they're $38 right now for Paldean Fates on the open market. They're $38 from Distro. I got to pay shipping from Distro, and I can get free shipping from a lot of places with $38 a box. So once again, there are some advantages to Distro though, because I'm going to start selling on TikTok Shop. If you guys are looking for stuff, I'm going to start selling like the sleeves. I can get these sleeves at a decent price and be able to get a little bit of 20% markup on those. I'm starting to pick up these little other odds and ends items because I notice people are interested in purchasing those things when they're on my streams. So I am going to start adding those on. So there are some advantages. The booster bundles, so like these, I got these from Distro when they came out because the pre-release orders were after I got into Distro on those. Those have been a really good deal. I cannot, these. So when I got these from Distro, these were $17.50 a booster, or $17.50 a piece. Even now, they're selling right now for $26.99, and they'll sell really easily for those holiday sets, booster bundles, all day long for that price. The 151s, I did not get the opportunity for those. I'm too small. Either A, I was too small, or I was too late to getting in the Distro. I never saw the opportunity to buy those from distribution, so even the Temporal Forces ones, I've got those coming, and they're $17.50 for the 6-pack bundles. So overall, there are some advantages to Distro. There are small advantages. My Performa Distro is not where I have to buy magic and do all that stuff. It's just a small foot in the door into a distribution. I'm last on the list for priority 2 where I'm at. So if I have Temporal Forces boxes, booster bundles supposedly coming, that doesn't mean I'm going to get them. If they run out of supply and they don't get enough at Distro, I'm going to get cut. Guaranteed. So even though I could get them for $17.50 at distribution, that doesn't mean I'm going to actually receive them at $17.50. It doesn't mean I'm going to receive them at all where I'm at currently. Unless I got an LCS where I actually have a brick and mortar, then I would have more premium access and I would get a little bit better pricing on those things too. But I don't have that capability, nor do I want that. So what I've got now, I'm happy with. I can pick and choose. Distro's not so much of a scam as much as the secondary market does what the secondary market does. And if people are willing to lose money on selling things to try and keep cash flow and write off that loss at the end of the year, they're going to do what they're going to do. And that's all that comes down to with that part of it. Gimbo. I'm more a buy and toss in the closet guy. I don't do the volume game. And some people don't. For me, I never used to do the volume game either until, like I said, this year I've kind of gone to the point where I want to kind of run a little small business on the side. Number 1 for myself, and number 2 because Jacob's getting old enough to where he wants to be doing these things too. He wants to make a little side income and he wants to make a little side cash. And it's a great opportunity for him to also do that. Also get that opportunity overall. So he can actually have the same opportunity of maybe making a little side cash if he goes live and starts selling packs. So there's definitely things that I'm playing here for not just me, but also for Jacob, because he's still into it. He's still heavy into the playability side. He's been making battle decks. He's been playing tournaments. He's been really involved into it. So that's what I'm looking at for me personally, is I'm looking at the futuristic side for him to give him something to have a little bit of side income, along with, starting to make some side income, be able to do these trips. So I want to go to North Carolina. I'm going to use my business to do that. I want to go to Chicago. I'm going to use my business. I don't want to take the stuff out of the personal side, and I'm trying to grow a little bit of a nest egg where I can put more into the investment side also. Let's see. I went way by where I'm supposed to, but I'm gonna have to call our quits here pretty quick. Let's see. Check out Pokemon Doctor on YouTube. He finds sealed deals on the internet. Yeah, and I also watch Pokemon Deals on X. If you aren't following Pokemon Deals on X, they always are putting up some fantastic deals. And I got the notification on for them. That's the only reason I'm really on to X at all, is because I use that. And there's one other one. I can't remember what it is. There's 2 of them on X that if the notification goes off, I'm instantly on it because I want to try and catch what's going on. Gibble Slice. Oh, yeah. He's great. I forgot about him. I highly recommend it. Other than that, MSRP is a fair price. I mean, if you're less than a year old and selling for 50% more than MSRP. Yeah, exactly. Nice. iPhone, I agree. Distribution is a scam right now. It is. Like I said, it's not really a scam. It's just there's better alternatives to buying some of the product. I absolutely guarantee that. And even so, I mean, I can pull open. Let me see if I can pull it open real quick. Where are we at for booster boxes? So I can give you just kind of an idea where we're at. So if I come in, let me log in here quick. And new releases. There are new releases. Now all the pre-orders are closed. So packs, $289 or $285 a pack coming on there right now. The pre-orders on the Iono Premium Collection pre-orders, those were $25. They sell for $40. Let's see. Previous orders. So, like I said, I'm just kind of looking through here real quick. I can get those stack tins. You can get a whole case of those for $57 for the 6 stack tins. The World Championship boxes are $75 a piece for those. Or for a case of those. So there's what? 6 in a case. Yeah, like Paradox Rift is, $96 currently on distro. What is it on? Just out of curiosity. I'm just looking at some numbers here. I'm just kind of comparing them for you. Paradox. So Paradox Rift. What's a booster box cost on TCG Player? So $92. So I can get it with $92 with free shipping right now from TCG Player. It's a perfect example. I pay $96 from distro. I pay $93 or $92.39 plus tax. So once again, it's kind of one of them little wash deals where you're really not making a whole lot on that one. So, some things aren't. Booster boxes really seem to be more of an issue, but overall, like, okay, Elite Trainer boxes, Obsidian Flame Elite Trainer boxes you can get for $32. Let me look that one up. Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer box. So, yeah, I mean, by the time I pay the shipping from distro, it's $35 currently. So there's not much markup in those particular ones. So just an idea. Yeah, some ETBs and booster boxes, I haven't seen much value in the in distro for those. But if you're looking at like this, the Paldean Fates, so they still have on here the let's just say Paldean Fates 6-pack bundles. I can get those for $17.50 right now on here, and they are selling currently for $24. So by the time I pay shipping for 25 of those, there's some potential for a little bit of gain or value inside of there. So, I mean, like I said, there are some perks to it. You just have to kind of play it, especially my size. If I was bigger, I might take the chance where I had the following on it. Then you could definitely use that distro, and you could get more rapport with the distribution to be able to get maybe even better pricing or better positioning when it comes down to releases. But that's all up to what your overall goal is. Right now, that's not what my goal is. My goal is to just try and keep relatively decent pricing where I can be competitive with a lot of people on the TikTok or where I'm selling at. So I don't necessarily, I can sit there and pick and choose where I buy from. Oh, let's see here. That's awesome. Nothing against it. I don't really know how to break stuff down in grind bulk. Yeah. All right. One more I have. Have you ever sold through consignment? I have not. No, I've never consigned anything personally, so I'm not sure how that works or anything like that. That would definitely be a Dan question because he runs consignment. So he'd be able to probably answer a lot of questions for you on that. I have some pricey Japanese vintage packs that I would like to try and pay less than 13% eBay fees on. Maybe go to the convention and sell in person. Personally, I have more experience or more luck selling through by person. Try, as dumb as it sounds, try Craigslist. Craigslist and Facebook give you some great advantages. PokeWorld 2.0, list them on there. You'd be surprised the amount of people that you can actually sell to on them bigger items or people are watching for. And then you can do it personally. You can talk personally in the chat and you don't have to pay any kind of fees on those through that PokeWorld 2.0. Navi Station. How did you manage to get traffic on TikTok and have people trust you? I feel people on there don't buy unless you already have hundreds of reviews. Basically, just keep grinding. I started when back in Black Friday, so people were really looking for those things, and they were definitely pushing, for the sales with the coupons and things like that. Were giving me an advantage. And when you do stuff, get those 5-star reviews. I have one review that's bad, and it's because the USPS damaged the package. Other than that, everybody else is giving really fantastic reviews. I have a 5-star channel, and by doing so, that's really given me the advantages when it comes down to TikTok. And then once again, if you're going live, like I go live 3 days a week on TikTok, and you get that rapport with people. I get the same people a lot of times coming back, and they'll buy over and over and over again just because they like the atmosphere, they like the vibe, they like the conversation, they enjoy it. My stuff always comes as described. They get good packaging, they get the big hit, and I'll put it in a box versus sending it with the bubble mailers. So if they get an alternate art hit, I always say the second someone gets an alternate art hit on my channel, they're getting a box. It's instant. I mean, it doesn't matter how big of an alternate art is. To me, they go from a bubble mailer to a box instantly because I'm going to protect that card as much as I can. Someone hits a couple V's, I'll do bubble mailers. Like the guy who gave me a 1-star review didn't hit anything. It was bulk. He literally went through Paldean Fates. He bought 2 packs of Paldean Fates, and he didn't hit anything but bulk. And he 4-star reviewed me because USPS damaged his pack, or tore the bubble mailer and bent the cards in packaging. So it was just kind of, I think part of it was that he was kind of upset that he didn't get a hit, but then of course it comes damage on top of it, which really is can't prevent everything from happening, especially in shipping. That's the worst part about the business. It seems like 1 out of every 100 packages gets damaged at USPS. It's just something they do. So, but overall, like I said, I don't have as much of a trust issue. It's just a grind. February was dead. I was literally doing lives for $40 for quite a few of them. Sundays were always fairly decent. That'd at least be $100, $200 on a Sunday. I'm always on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And the other 2 days were literally I was doing it for free. But I had to keep the algorithm going and keep my position on the algorithm. That's a big thing too. Just like YouTube, you got to keep pushing the content. You got to be on it. Otherwise, you fall behind on that. And then the other thing is too is make sure on the TikTok side that you follow the Academy. And there's also a tab in your sales thing, if you are using it, that says Growth Center. Do those things. Do the events. If they're trying to do events like now where you can do lives, so you do lives and you get points, you get gifts for your lives. You do those kind of things, that also drives more traffic. They give you ways where they'll drive more traffic to you, but you have to somewhat play the games and follow what they're trying to give you. So yeah, there's a couple ways that you can do it and drive traffic. I've had really good luck just doing the Growth Center really gave me a boost by following the Growth Center when it got slow. And then on top of it, following through, there's the Academy. Make sure you do the Academy stuff because they track that you're following that and doing the things correctly. And then last but not least, make sure that you're following the events. So right now, March has got the Spring Bloom event where you can go live. And the more hours you go live during that, the more points you get. And the more points you get, like me, I just hit, 6 hours? So once I hit 6 hours live, it increased my traffic by 11%. They instantly give you more traffic for following through with things that they're actually promoting. So, all right, let's see. We've got 2 more because I saw Navi Station. So Navi Station, once again, you're going to be the last question, or I'm never going to get out of here tonight. First one here. How long do you think before Lost Origins sells out on Pokemon Center? I'm going to give it to the halfway through the year, personally. I think Brilliant Stars will probably be selling out here in the next month or 2. I think we're going to see Astral Radiance be on there for a long period of time. I think Lost Origins is going to be the next one to sell out before Astral Radiance does. So I give it, if I had to put an educated guess on it, just by the track that we're seeing right now between the losses of them, I'm going to say June to August. I'll put it right there. I think by August, I wouldn't be surprised if it was sold out on Pokemon Center. Thank you, iFOMO. Once again, thank you so much, everybody that's joined tonight. Greatly appreciated. Oh, yeah. Last one, Navi Station. Do you just sell pack openings? No. I sell sealed product. I'm selling, like I said, accessories on there. I sell sealed product. I sell, like the sleeves from Paldean Fates. I sell other things, sealed product. Like my Chilling or Champion's Path, I've been selling sealed product. And overall, that's where we're kind of at when it comes down to it. Pack openings are really what drive the channel, though. Being live, being in front of them, a lot of people will buy packs, and then they'll buy the accessories while they're there. Or I sold a lot of like the Mimikyu, ETB sleeves. I've sold quite a few of those because people will buy some packs, they'll throw in the sleeves. So it's just like having them little extra items there are great for them, because then you kind of get them little extra sales, but that's a lot of sealed stuff. I keep thinking about it, but once again, I always have a problem with trying to do that kind of stuff. It feels cheesy and it feels corny to me. I know I've had a lot of people ask if I would do merch. If I had people, let me know in the comments of this video. If you want merch, let me know, because I can do it. I mean, to me, I'm just not big into it, and I'm not big into making a ton of money or trying to be profitable. But the merch always makes you take 20%. So yeah. I already answered you there. So like I said, with the Lost Origins, how long until I think it'll sell out on Pokemon Center? I think Brilliant Stars will so just to go through it, I think Lost Origins will sell out on Pokemon Center. My prediction, I could be, once again, it's just my guess by what we're seeing. I would think we'll see it sell out probably between June and August for that. I don't think Brilliant Stars, if Brilliant Stars got anything, it's going to be an ETB reprint personally, but there's already been a huge ETB reprint, so I don't think it's going to, because the problem is that even the playability of Brilliant Stars is starting to slump a little bit, because there are getting to be some very competitive, like the Gardevoir EX deck is very competitive. The Charizard EX deck is a very competitive deck. The Iron Hands deck now is becoming very competitive. I think you're going to see, with the new Mega Evolutions now potentially are coming here, I don't think you're going to see Brilliant Stars be relevant for very much longer. These decks are going to become OP'd compared to the Brilliant Stars deck, and I think that Charizard or that Arceus deck is going away. The Arceus deck has already been kind of fading out. Fusion Strike is not giving an option. It's going to go away. And overall, I think that's going to be a big factor. Brown CLM just said, I was just going to say that. It's still available on Pokemon Center. They still have booster boxes available. And there's plenty of playable cards out there for Brilliant Stars. I just don't see a reason for them the need to reprint Brilliant Stars. I think that they're going to completely phase out of the last, and they do that a lot. You go back to the tag team sets, they did the exact same thing. They kind of phase them out at the end of the year or at the last year, because they focus on the new sets. So they started focusing in on Sword and Shield, and they didn't do reprints of. They canceled the last reprint of Team Up. They did a small reprint of Unbroken Bonds. They did a very small reprint of Unified Minds. They canceled out of the Cosmic Eclipse reprint because they were going to do that in December of 2021, and they bailed out of it, and that's why it showed up in those D21 or J21 tins or D21 Pokeballs and the Arceus figurine collection. Those are all repercussions of the fact that they just bailed on the last reprint, because they do that. They focus in on Scarlet and Violet. They're putting all of their emphasis on Scarlet and Violet. They're putting everything into, the Mega Charizards and the anime and the starters for it. Usually the last era or the last year of the previous era kind of gets neglected at the end of the time. That's where I kind of think that's going to go. Let's see. Do you think people pay a bit more for more expensive booster boxes on TCG Player than eBay? Wondering if I should make a TCG Player account, sell some of my boxes, and you could. A lot of times they will. You can put them on TCG Player and people just buy because they're there. So you could position them where you want them, and as prices, I just position what I want to make on them and forget about them. When someone buys them, then I send them. But typically, you can just wait them out and let the prices catch up to what you want them to be on there. That way you're not rushing it. Let's see where we at. Brilliant Stars booster boxes not out in the wild because they're still at Pokemon Center. Yep, search booster boxes. I'm surprised. And that's just it. They're expensive out in the wild, but they're typically about 13%. Right now, they're both kind of Lost Origins and Brilliant Stars are both about 13% over the current value of them. So, all right, guys, I'm going to cut this off. Like I said, I could be here all night with you guys asking questions. Thank you so much for the questions tonight, guys. Greatly appreciated. Overall, like I said, thank you guys. Hopefully this is some good information. I like having the conversations. You guys have been great tonight with the questions. I think we had a really good conversation on a lot of things. Like I said, iFOMO, if you want merch, make sure you guys let me know in the comments. I could always turn it on. I have the availability. They offer it through even Streamlabs where I could turn on merch if you guys want it. Overall, I can maybe see if I can do it for free if you guys do want it, and see if I don't have to make any money on it. And my purpose has never been to make money on this channel, so if I can do it, I will set that up so you can do it. But all right, guys, like I said, thank you so much, everybody. Otherwise, once again, check us out. We'll have a new video out tomorrow. We'll have one on Friday, and I'm going to try and do Mondays. The way I've been setting things up, I've been a little bit more free to get videos done on the weekend, so I'm hoping to kind of continue to do 3 videos a week from now on. So we'll see how that works, plus the live. Just trying to be a little bit more positive on this channel, not just giving all my time to TikTok like it seems like it's been. So I just want to give a little bit more love to the YouTube community. Once again, you guys got me started. Greatly appreciated everybody out there. And once again, thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave. And last but not least, we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.